Niigata City borders the Sea of Japan. On November 15, 1977, it was here that a junior high school student, YOKOTA Megumi, was abducted by North Korean agents. Megumi has two twin younger brothers, Takuya and Tetsuya.
All of us loved talking with her when we would eat together. She was cheerful and dependable, social and popular with her friends. If I were to compare her to a flower, she'd be a sunflower.
To this day, the campaign to return victims home to their families from North Korea continues.
I believe that they haven't forgotten their homeland and are waiting for us to rescue them from North Korea.
It's unbearable that our abducted families are forced to live in a hell we can not even imagine.
As they struggle with loss, families maintain hope for reunions. This program conveys the voices of the families of abductees and their campaign toward the resolution of the abductions issue. Abductions by North Korea. A large number of people went missing in Japan from the 1970s to 80s, including YOKOTA Megumi. 17 individuals have been confirmed by the government of Japan as victims of abduction by North Korea. The possibility of further abductions cannot be ruled out for more than 800 other missing persons. The Japanese police have continued to gather information and investigate. Victims of abductions by North Korea are not only from Japan, but also from countries including South Korea, Thailand, Romania, and Lebanon.
Megumi went to this junior high school here.
Nearly 45 years have passed since Megumi was abducted. Her brothers retrace her route from school, on which she is thought to have been abducted. On that day, she had participated in her school's badminton club and was on the way home. The abduction is believed to have been committed along a path of only 600 meters between the school and her home.
Our house was about 3 minutes from here. When the police conducted a search and an investigation, this was where the police dogs lost her scent. This is the spot where she might have been abducted.
Losing Megumi fundamentally changed the Yokota's lives.
There was a very dark and mournful atmosphere in the house. All we could think about was where she might be, and that hasn't changed until today. We still wish that we could somehow escape from these feelings of pain.
At the time of Megumi's disappearance, it wasn't initially clear that North Korea was responsible. In 1987, North Korean agents planned the bombing of a South Korean plane, which killed 115 people. Kim Hyung-hee was one of the two perpetrators. She later testified that she had been taught Japanese by a Japanese abductee and that she had met YOKOTA Megumi. Subsequent investigations by Japanese authorities and testimonies by former North Korean agents who had defected revealed a strong possibility these cases involved abductions by North Korea. Reitaku University visiting professor Nishioka Tsutomu has worked with the families of victims in the long years since the abductions occurred.
Kim Hyung-hee said that she heard Megumi was abducted to be an agent through brainwashing. North Koreans disguise themselves as Japanese, Lebanese, or Thai citizens, which we call assimilation, and abductees may be forced to train North Korean agents to act as foreign citizens. We know that Megumi was forced to be a Japanese instructor for North Korean agents.
In January of 1997, about 20 years had passed since Megumi's abduction. It was the first time Megumi's parents heard that their daughter could be alive in North Korea. Megumi's father, Shigeru, spoke to the press. Wishing to appeal to the public, he made the decision to share Megumi's identity openly with the media. In March of 1997, the Association of the Families of Victims Kidnapped by North Korea was established.
Please, think of if you lost a member of your own family. It affects us all.
At the time, many tended to regard the North Korean abductions as speculation. Even when ignored by those around them, the Yokotas continued their efforts. When the first assembly of Japanese citizens was held to seek the return of the abductees, the Yokota family shared their heartbreak with the audience.
We heard that when Megumi was abducted, she called out for me, weeping and pleading for help as she was confined in the ship's pitch-black darkness for 40 hours. We heard that by the time she arrived in North Korea, her fingernails had been torn off from clawing at the walls, trying to escape, as she cried out for me. I don't want to imagine such a tragic situation.
The Yokotas and other members of the Families Association have continued their efforts by submitting petitions to the Japanese government.
Whose responsibility is it to save the people who have been cruelly torn away from their families? It goes beyond just their parents.
The Yokota's persistent efforts gradually attracted greater attention, building a support network across Japan.
I put my feelings into words to express to everyone. Many people were brought to tears by the injustice that had happened. Their understanding of the abductions issue brings me some comfort.
2002 brought a major development in the case.
拉致問題の進展がなければ国交正常化交渉に入れませんから。
Then Japanese Prime Minister Koizumi Junichiro and North Korean leader Kim Jong-il held the first ever Japan-North Korea summit meeting. Since the strong possibility was revealed that many missing Japanese citizens' cases may involve abductions conducted by North Korea, the government of Japan brought up the issue at every opportunity. Under the watchful eyes of the families of the victims, after years of denial, Kim Jong-il finally admitted to the abductions of Japanese citizens and apologized. He stated 5 were alive, 8 were dead, and for one, entrance into North Korea could not be confirmed. Among the 8 Japanese citizens announced dead was YOKOTA Megumi.
We are not convinced that she has passed away.
We would like to fight together. To all those people who truly care about Megumi, spread the word and keep calling out to her. To all those who prayed for her safety, we give our sincere thanks. We'll keep fighting with the belief that she's still alive.
On October 15th of the same year, 5 abductees returned from North Korea to Japan.
皆さん会えて嬉しいです。本当にありがとうございます。
両親の元気な姿を見て本当に嬉しい限りです。
This day marked the first tangible step towards the resolution of the abductions issue. Following the return of the 5 abductees, the government of Japan continued the Japan-North Korea intergovernmental negotiations. In 2004, 8 members of the families of the 5 abductees who had remained in North Korea came to Japan. November of that year marked 27 years since Megumi's abduction. North Korea returned remains they claimed to be those of YOKOTA Megumi. However, a later DNA test in Japan on part of the remains detected DNA belonging to someone else.
I can almost hear her calling out to us, "Mother, Father, I'm alive, it isn't true." We intend to keep on fighting in order to resolve the abductions issue.
Despite continuing intergovernmental talks, North Korea launched ballistic missiles and carried out its first nuclear test in 2006, demonstrating its intent to advance nuclear and missile development activities. In response, Japan took autonomous measures, including banning the entry of North Korean ships, in addition to the sanction measures set out in the UN Security Council resolutions. North Korea failed to show good faith in negotiations by repeating its position that the abductions issue has already been resolved. The next major step forward was in 2014 at negotiations held in Stockholm. North Korea promised to conduct comprehensive and full-scale investigations on all Japanese nationals, including abductees. In July of 2014, they announced the beginning of the investigations and establishment of a special investigation committee. As a result, Japan lifted some of its autonomous measures against North Korea. In response to North Korea's 4th nuclear test in January 2016 and the launch of a ballistic missile in February, that same month, Japan announced new autonomous measures against North Korea. In turn, North Korea unilaterally announced that it would completely cease its promised investigations. Why has there been so little progress on the abductions issue since?
North Korea says that it abducted only 13 people, of which 5 have been returned and 8 are dead. They took the position that the abductions issue has already been resolved as of September 2002. 17 citizens have been confirmed by the Japanese government as abductees, a difference of 4 people. There may be many more. We fully intend to reveal the falsehood that North Korea abducted only 13 people, 8 of whom are dead. We've worked with the Japanese government towards this goal, and I believe that if we place North Korea under stronger pressure, it may change their policy.
In order to rescue abductees whose human rights are being violated, further coordination with the international community is needed. The families of the victims took their mission overseas. Beginning in 2006, they met with U.S. President George W. Bush, as well as presidents that followed him, and conveyed the wishes of the Japanese abductees' families for them to mediate resolution of the abductions issue. Megumi's brother, YOKOTA Takuya, is active in their overseas efforts.
I brought a doll that Megumi had played with up until the year of her abduction. She was abducted at a time when she should have been enjoying her childhood, and she's endured 40 years in captivity.
Since 2016, he's taken part in symposiums held at the UN headquarters in New York in order to advocate the resolution of the abductions issue to the international community.
I'm not sure how long our parents will be around to wait for her. We ask that you focus your courage to fight alongside us. I would like to tell Kim Jong-un, it's the time to thoroughly resolve the abductions issue.
In June 2022, an online UN symposium on the abductions issue was held, co-hosted by the governments of Japan, the US, Australia, and the European Union. The families of suspected abductees from other nations, including the US and Thailand, also participated. David Snedden is an American student from Utah who disappeared when he was 24. While studying abroad in China, he went missing in Yunnan province in August 2004. He is believed to have been abducted by North Korean agents. His older brother James spoke on his behalf.
They had similar simple freedoms and pleasures, but those activities were robbed of each in the youth or prime of life. Stolen, snatched, stripped before life really began. Youthful lives muted, or rather muzzled, forcefully, painfully, ruthlessly, and to this day, silently, unless we act.
Anocha Panchoy is from Chiang Mai in northern Thailand. She is believed to have been abducted by North Korea while traveling as a migrant worker in 1978. Anocha was represented by her nephew, Banjong.
The people who understand our pain of having family abducted by North Korea and support us reassure me that there's still some hope left. Thanks to all of you here, I've managed to hold on to hope.
Families of the victims from the US, South Korea, Thailand, and Romania understand the importance of international coordination and are working together. We've now followed through to a point where Kim Jong-un can no longer feign ignorance of the abductions issue and make excuses. The progress we've made internationally is something we intend to proactively continue.
For decades, the Yokotas have stood at the forefront of the families of victims. They visited all 47 prefectures of Japan, delivering more than 1,400 speeches.
なんか毎日びっちりですね。知らないうちに入っちゃってそうやって何もできて。
YOKOTA Shigeru served as the first representative of the Families Association until 2007. He passed away at the age of 87 in June 2020.
My husband was always like a fellow soldier to me. We'd encourage each other as we fought on together. It's hard to be alone now. As I get older, I lose more and more of my physical stamina. It's hard to press on as tenaciously as before. I just hope I can live long enough to rescue our daughter.
Members carrying on the mission of their parents are also involved in the activities. YOKOTA Takuya currently serves as the third representative of the family's association. Iizuka Koichiro, the son of Taguchi Yaeko, who was abducted by North Korea, took on the role of Secretary General of the association. They held a meeting to review the current state of North Korea and discussion topics for their rallies. As of October 2022, the total number of signatures gathered by the Families Association and their supporters exceeds 16 million.
I want to alleviate the regrets held by our parents. I want nothing else but to help members of our parents' generation, those who are still with us, to be reunited with the abductees. It's that hope that keeps me going.
On October 23, 2022, an assembly of Japanese citizens was held, demanding North Korea's immediate return of all abductees. This assembly has been held for the last 20 years and was attended by Prime Minister Kishida, the Chief Cabinet Secretary and Minister in charge of the abduction issue, and supporters of the Families Association. YOKOTA Sakie called for the expedited resolution of the abductions issue.
We persevered together, but after fighting to his last breath, my husband passed away. We strongly believe that by uniting the desire of all Japanese people, we can rescue the abductees and allow them to set foot on their homeland once more.
YOKOTA Takuya expressed his thoughts to Prime Minister Kishida.
The cruel reality is that parents of abductees are passing away before being reunited with their children. I asked Prime Minister Kishida to expedite a Japan-North Korea summit meeting and reiterate that the resolution of the abductions issue is most important for Japan and its potential brighter future, and to achieve a full resolution while our parents' generation are still in good health.
Prime Minister Kishida expressed his determination to resolve the abductions issue.
北朝鮮については、日朝平壌宣言に基づき、拉致、核、ミサイルといった諸懸案を包括的に解決し、不幸な過去を清算して、日朝国交正常化の実現を目指しますが、とりわけ、拉致被害者ご家族もご高齢となる中で、拉致問題は時間的、制約のある人権問題です。すべての拉致被害者の方の一日も早いご帰国を実現すべく、全力で果断に取り組んでまいります。
In November 2022, YOKOTA Takuya and Tetsuya are on their way to Niigata City in order to take place in a rally after a 2-hour train ride from Tokyo.
I went to work early so that I could finish up in time and head to Niigata City afterwards.
It's the first time in 5 years that they have come to Niigata City, where their sister was abducted. It's also the first time they've both attended a rally in Niigata City together. Takuya is concerned that the abductions issue will fade away.
Some people may think of it as a tragedy that befell we Yokotas, or sad stories of the Families Association. But I want to urge them not to consider it as someone else's problem.
He emphasized that each individual voice can help resolve the abductions issue. Tetsuya restated the earnest plea of his family.
Our father passed away without seeing his daughter again. And although our mother is still healthy, the fatigue weighs upon a person of her age. My hope is that she can see her daughter again while she's still of sound health. "45
years have passed since the abduction of YOKOTA Megumi.
I think that the family unit is the most important group. Abductees have been held captive in terror without seeing their families for 40 to 50 years. We hope people around the world fully recognize that this serious issue is an ongoing concern in Japan.
Until all abductees return home, the families of the victims' advocates will never cease to fight. This program was made possible by the government of Japan.